You are listening to The Winningest with Adam Wins. Intelligent information from those that have achieved the highest levels of success to become the winningest in wellness and wealth. Bringing you the winningest from around the globe to help you get to the highest levels of winning to become the winningest in everything you do. Leading the way to the winningest to get you the winningest levels in your wellness and wealth. The Winningest with Adam Wins.
Hey, this is Adam Wins. This is All right, this is Adam Wins. This is The Winningest Show. You can find us at thewinningest.com. Today's episode, parental advisory. I'm going to say a lot of things here that are raw and that may offend a lot of people, okay? We're going through some very, very, very difficult times, okay? And so I don't know if you're Christian, I don't know if you're Jewish, I don't know if you're Muslim, but all of us, and let's say this is church today, okay? All of us come from a Judeo or some type of background. They all begin with ancient books. If you're Buddhist, Hindi, they all kind of have the same philosophies, okay? So right now for the Jewish faith, this is Passover. And there were some plagues, okay? A COVID type of plague. So something that was sent to kill a bunch of people. Very reminiscent of what we're going through right now. And they were told in order to save their firstborn, they had to put some blood of the lamb above their door. Okay. And the firstborn would survive and be passed over. Okay. We all want to be passed over, right? It's something very pertinent right now. Yet, I see so many people making mistakes right now. And quite frankly, the topic is real estate. Okay? Real estate. There's many of you out there who own real estate. There's many of you who are in real estate. And there's even more of you who rent your property. Okay? Let's get down to words have meaning. Okay? Let's talk about, in this time, in this Passover time where we want all these things to pass over us and for us to thrive and survive. There's a lot of people out there complaining that they're not collecting rent. There's a lot of people out there not paying rent. And quite frankly, a lord, now this is the second part of landlord. Lord, by definition, is a person or a deity who has authority, control, and power over others, acting like a master, chief, or ruler. So if you are a landlord, those people that rent from you, by definition, you're putting yourself as an authority, as a control, as a power over others. And many people who own property believe that they have this control over others. And that is not why we were put onto this earth, to lord over others. Not at all, okay? This is, let's say, pandemic times. In the times of Passover, the Israelis who escaped from slavery into ancient Egypt by inflicting 10 plagues, okay? And they wanted the death of the Egyptian firstborn, okay? And we're going through a little plague of our own right now, okay? In this Passover time. It's time to be thinking, okay? Think what's going on here and think what's happening. So I've seen some posts lately from landlords, people that believe they have authority over others. They have authority over the land, yet they didn't create any land. No landlords created any land. Most landlords, aside from some Dubaites in Dubai, and aside from some people in the Netherlands, most landlords, almost all, never created anything. They created no land, which means they have zero, zero, zero value. Okay. So I see all these landlords, lords, people who believe they have a power and authority of others, talking that shame on their people that they lord over their land and they occupy space on my land and how dare them not pay rent. For God's sakes, this is a Passover time where we want this plague, this COVID, to pass over all of us, our firstborn, our secondborn, all of our children, all of our families. We want to all be safe and healthy. Landlords are worried about the rent. Where's the rent? You morons. You're stupid. Landlords. Real estate is not a business. It's not a business, okay? It's not an investment and it's not a savings account, okay? Some bankers way back in the day decided to make it into a business, okay? And that it starts from Old English, and we went to escape the English. That's why I'm American, and we founded this great country to not have lords over our land. And yet they've infiltrated us here. They've infiltrated us to where we have lords over the land. And this is not England. This is America. And we don't need landlords, okay? In this great time, in this great nation, in this great change that we're all going through, by going through this Passover, and those of us who it does pass over, it's time to really reconsider. Now, real estate is a service. It is not a business, okay? It's not a business. You're not creating anything of value. Real estate does not create value. I saw a post of somebody today. I can't wait until the real estate market crashes so I can take advantage. Take advantage of who? When you make money by buying low and raising the rent means you have to take that money from other people. Okay, you're not providing a service. They don't have a choice. They have to have suitable housing. Everybody does. Something that's normal, okay? Now, as a landlord, putting in new hardwood floors, putting in new countertops, making things up to specification in your property, up to code, up to standard, that is not creating value. That's doing what you should do. If you have garbage on your street, you should pick it up. If you see litter, pick it up. If you can improve something, improve it, okay? Improving your property is improving your property if you're the landlord, but it is not a business. Really, moving forward, after this, realize this entire marketing of real estate as a business was created by the banks so that they can sell more mortgages, where you buy a $500,000 house and you pay the bank $1 million, okay? Think about it, okay? I'm finding so many of my people in real estate who have been selling single or multifamily residential. That's the way to invest. Well, we invest in businesses. We invest in stocks. We invest in services and value that's exchanged. That's what a company is. Real estate is not a company. It's not a company. You don't create more land. Okay, you don't create. To be a business, to be successful in business, you have to create. And owning property, it's not creating anything. How it should work is that the land, there's taxes that need to be paid, and that should be divided up among those people that live in that property. There's repairs that need to be made. That should be divided up among those people that live on that property. But in no way should it be profit center. Yes. Should they make a good living at it? Yes. Should they become gazillionaires and fly in private jets like Grant Cardone? Fuck no. He's got his pants down right now. He's got his pants down because he's over leveraged, okay? Because he has credit from the banks, because the banks want to do business with him, because he can create more flow for them. He can create more mortgage for them. They allow multifamily people to do this. And what's happening right now in the multifamily world is they're over leveraged by 100, 120%. Okay. They take their money out first. They leave the investors there to foot the bill. And now the renters can't pay the rent that they built a business plan around housing. Live a place to live is not a business. It's a place to lay your head. Okay. It's a place to lay your head. It's not a business. A business is something that creates value. Okay. A bed and a room is not value. Okay. Now, the cable TV service that comes in, yes, it's a choice. That's a business. Okay. The internet that comes in, yes, that's a choice. That's a business. It provides a valuable service that somebody can use to do something with. Now, in terms of commercial real estate that support businesses, that is a business. Okay. But other than that, generally speaking, our common conception of real estate is false. Okay. We were not put on this earth to lord over other people. Realize that. We are not put on this earth to lord over other people. So those who cannot pay rent right now, those who cannot, too bad. Don't. Now, if you're a landlord and you're over leveraged and you owe the bank money, it's not a good business to be in. You make money by raising rent. That's how you make money. Okay. You make money by getting leveraged money from a bank, and they loan you money that you don't have based on some property that you're going to get tenants in, and you all got caught with your pants down. I'm getting calls from multiple real estate deals. Adam, help us out. We need investors. We're underwater. We need this. No way. No way. You're not a business. You stink. Humanly, you're not human. Okay. You're not treating your fellow man responsibly. Okay. If you're investing in Apple, okay, they create a phone. If people want it, they're going to buy it. They provide a service. Is it overpriced? Sure. But you got the choice to buy it or not. Now, overpricing on real estate where somebody has to live, it's not a business. Okay. It's not a business. Real estate creates no value. No value. Farming, it's a business. People need to eat. Okay. Yes, people need a place to sleep. But generally, selling that home multiple times, flipping, and doing all this other stuff, it's not the way it was intended, and not the way that life should be. It's victimizing people. Okay, you're victimizing people that need a place to live. So if you've got the property paid off, if you got to pay your taxes. I get that on the property. And you've got to pay for whatever maintenance. Aside from that, it shouldn't be a profitable venture. Real estate should be a break-even venture. You're not doing anything. You hold a piece of property. That's it. You shouldn't expect it to be your golden ticket to get you this or that. It's absolutely designed and marketed with a false narrative by the banks. It's not helpful to anyone except the person that's taking advantage. And in order to make money in real estate, you have to take advantage of other people. Okay. The poor people in America right now are paying 60 to 80% of their income in rent, so that corporations, multifamily investor groups can make a huge fortune. Okay. Victimizing people who can't even afford it. It's called slavery. Okay. If you're Jewish, this whole time Passover is about escaping from slavery. Yet we've enslaved a large portion of the United States population. 80 to 90% of it is enslaved. Okay. Our police officers, they don't make enough money. They're enslaved by real estate. Okay. And I practice what I preach. I don't own any land. Okay. I'm water. Because I don't believe in it. I believe it's garbage. I believe it's trash. And I believe the people who are behind it, they do not have anyone's best interest in mind. And this is a very serious time. We've got very serious issues, and it's time to rethink. It's time to rethink the whole game of real estate. Okay. If you've made your money in it, get out of it and rent your land. If you've paid for your property, rent your land at the cost. Okay. If you got the money from the bank, turn it into a co-op and let those people who rent from you own it as well. Okay. It's not something personally that I want to be. I don't want to be a lord over anybody. I want to be a lord over you. I don't want to be a lord over another person. I'm a boss because I create. Okay. But I'm not a suppressive boss. A landlord is someone who's suppressive over others. Okay. They lord over you. Look at the definition of lord. Okay. Again, it's a person who has authority, control, or power over others, acting like a master, chief, or ruler. Okay. Who do you think you are? Because the bank said that you can get a mortgage on a property, you think you can rule over other people? Is that really how it works? So some guy that owns a bank puts you in a position of authority to rule over others? Come on. And how do you make your money in multifamily? Cardone and all you people like him, you raise the rent, okay? You say it outright. We go in, we calculate our NOI and we raise the rent. How many doors we got? This is how much rent we got. This is how we're going to raise the rent. Well, right now, that rent ain't paying. And you just fired a third of your office because you suck. You suck right here in your heart. You suck because you only care about you. You don't care about others, okay? I don't know how you can be in real estate and care about others, okay? It's a service. If you're a real estate agent and you make money by selling transactional homes to other people, great. But I think this whole ownership philosophy needs to change. You know, Airbnb extreme after COVID to where nobody owns shit. Okay? Nobody owns shit in the real estate. You just get to use it because there's no value. Okay? It's really just a place that you lay your head and you sleep when you're not out in the world doing what you want to do. Okay? It's absolutely asinine for those of you who own real estate to say, how dare these renters? We know you can pay. Why don't you pay? The game is rigged. The game is rigged. Why don't the banks give you back the 50% or the 100% interest that they charge over a 30-year mortgage when you get a house at 5% interest and it costs you a $500,000 house costs you $1 million to at the end you end up paying $1 million for a $500,000 house. Why don't the banks give that back to you right now? Why doesn't the government, why doesn't Trump demand that the banks give all that money back to that they paid? Come on. Because is that a business? Is banking even a business? A place to store your money? Is that a business? Storing money? Is that a business? I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense, right? If you have a product and service that people need, to me, that's a business, okay? Yes, we need the easy exchange of money. I think a lot of people in the blockchain space are making it quite clear that we don't need these big institutions to lord over us and make us they're our masters. Do we need them as our masters? We don't. Technology has already proven that we don't need them as our masters. We can be very transparent. Fees can be taken out. The exchange of money can happen much faster without them involved. But they're taking so much from us. And in this time of Easter and this time of Passover, okay, biblically speaking, religiously speaking, Old Testament speaking, what is happening right now? You're going through a modern day Passover. You are going through a modern day Easter, okay? Apply it to yourself. Apply this rule to you and how you live, okay? Real estate is not a business. It's not a business. If you own a commercial property and, you put a Walgreens on it, great. Walgreens makes money on it. You provide them a service and you do something for it. But if you just sit there and make money off it, it's kind of scumbaggy that you just go grab a piece of land and wait for opportunistically to, find a victim. Find a victim that you can sign into a giant lease that if they try to break it, you sue them and screw them over and all these different things and lord over them and be their master and slave them to you and make them work for you. I mean, if you own a multifamily property and you rent to the mid or low income, literally you're making people go work middle class jobs. You're making them go work at uh, Walmart or at McDonald's or wherever it is that people work, whatever it is they do. If they're around minimum wage or double minimum wage or triple minimum wage, and give it all back to you for rent. That's slavery. Okay, that's what this Passover is all about. Is not having slavery. Yet it seems like the Egyptians won. you know, it seems like they won, and it ain't right. It's not a business. So, however you crack it up to be, however you justify it to yourself that you're doing such a good deed to people, that you're providing them a place to live, screw you. Seriously, screw you. You're a piece of fucking shit. I said it. Okay? You're not going to like it. I told you in the beginning here. You're not going to like what I had to say, because I have zero, mind you, zero respect for anybody in real estate. Okay? I do not think it is valid. I do not think that it provides value. And I do not think that you have the proper information or the proper data. You've been sold the bill of goods. You've been marketed to by the banking institutions for the past 100 years here in America that this is the way that it needs to happen. And all they've done is constantly raise the rent. They've constantly just raised the rent to where it's 80 to 90% of what you make is going to pay some guy so he can lord over you and be your lord. Absolutely ridiculous. It's insane. Stop. You've got time to think now. Okay? You're on lockdown. Stop watching a bunch of garbage on the news that's feeding you this, you're going to die, whatever. Do you think that the Israelites were worried about that in Passover? You think they were worried, oh, we're going to die? No, they knew they were protected by God. Okay? We're all protected by God. Let's get back to that and living more the way that God intended it. We were all born wealthy. Okay? We were all born with a place to live. We were all born healthy. Okay? That's the way it's God's intended it. They didn't intend you to live in fear. Okay? You're not intended to live sick. You're not intended to live with somebody lording over you. It's just not the way that it was created. And if you're lording over someone right now, stop. Okay? Reduce their rent to whatever it is that it costs you. Okay? I understand there's costs to owning and maintaining real estate. I get it. That's what you should be charging people. Okay? That's what you should be charging people. Get back to the way that it was intended. Okay? That's money is supposed to be made with the change of good and services. Okay? If you grow some corn, let's exchange something that I do. I make some horseshoes or whatever it is. Okay? You're not creating anything when you're creating real estate. Okay? If there's a piece of land and you create this big building and you need to pay the bank to build it, I get it. Okay? And once that's paid off, it's paid off. Okay? It doesn't need to change hands and be paid off again and multiply. That's not the way. We came on this earth and it was given to us, and we've somehow made ourselves the lords of this earth, and it's not the way it is. So stop being a lord over other people. If you're a landlord, get off your high horse. You're not a master of anybody. If they can't pay the rent and you've got your nut covered, deal with it. Okay? You guys get tax breaks. Okay? Landlords got a bunch of tax breaks right now. Okay? The little guy that works at Rallies and gets you your hamburger, he is screwed. Okay? If he can't pay his rent, you shouldn't even ask him to pay his rent. If you're a decent human being, if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, you should be, or Hindi or whatever you are, you should be releasing those obligations of other people and getting down to the bare minimums. Okay? And just get back to what's important and, living a good life, creating value. You've got time to Process this now. You're not having to go from work to job to work to job to sleep to wake up to go to work to job. Most people, their lives are they go to sleep, they wake up, they work so they can live in your rented house and provide you some kind of like great retirement. And that's your idea of a business. It's called taking advantage of other people. And it is not the way that it works. You can make money with it. I'm not saying you can't make money in real estate. You can make a lot of money in real estate. Look, Cardone's got a jet. He's got his own jet. Wow. But he's over leveraged with the bank's money right now, and people aren't paying. And he's not the only one. All these guys with these real estate funds, they're over leveraged. People aren't paying. They have to have everybody pay, or they owe the banks. So they got to make deals with the banks. They got to do all these things. They're freaking out. They don't know what to do. That's the fact. They don't know what to do. And frankly, it ain't right. It's just not right. Okay. There's a lot of ways to make money in this world, but you shouldn't have to do things that aren't right. You don't have to do things that aren't right. Think about it. Okay. You may have lived your whole life in real estate and believing what the banks have taught you and believing that, indentured servitude is okay. It's not. Okay. It's not, because those people, you don't force them to work on your plantation. They're not forced to work on your plantation, but they're forced to work at the Walmart plantation or the Taco Bell plantation or whatever other plantation it is. Okay. And they're forced to work there, and then you collect all their money. Come on, guys. This is COVID. This is Passover. We want it to all pass over us. Okay. And the thing about it is, we should all be praying and coming into ourselves of who we really are. We're not forced into some, forced labor right now. Everybody's got this time off to really think and digest and make changes. This is times where we can make huge changes in our health and in our wealth. Okay. You've got that opportunity now to not be a selfish asshole, to actually help your fellow man. If they don't have a mask, give them a mask. Okay. If they don't have some sanitizer, give them some sanitizer. Okay. If you're a landlord, you got the opportunity not to lord over them. Okay. You're going to get your money in your tax breaks. Release them from their contracts. Release them. Okay. It's a very, very Jewish and Christian thing to do. Release them from it. Release them from the slavery. Okay. And with the world changing as it is, you're going to have a whole new world. What would I rather be doing than what I'm doing right now? Think about that right now. Okay. You got time to think about what you want to do and how you want to be of service to someone else, because that's where real money is made. It's not made by being clever. It's not made by taking advantage of others. It's really not made by buying low and selling high. Yes, you have to be smart when you invest in a business. Okay. At all businesses, you start with nothing and you grow that business, and you want to invest into growing businesses and start your own growing business. Okay. Now is the time that you have to really think about that and how it is you want to be serving your fellow man. Do you want to be serving your fellow man as a lord that lords over them, that makes them go out to work every day? You force them to go out to work a shitty job that they hate, to have a crappy existence, to barely make ends meet so that they can pay you your money in your multifamily residential deal so you and your investors can make a bunch bank. And when they don't pay, screw you, you pay now, I'm the landlord, blah, 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 pay. Really? You think that's why God put you on this earth? To be that guy? I don't think so. Don't think so. It's time to change. It's time to change your ways. That's what Easter and Passover is all about. Okay? That's why that's why it's a holiday, so you can get a break from life and think about it. And we've been on a month-long holiday. Okay. Somebody brought this. If the Chinese brought it, thank you. Okay. This is the greatest gift you've given to America yet, aside from your cheap electronics and, your gadgetry and the things that you've allowed us to innovate and you've made for us. Thank you, China, for bringing us this month or 2 or 3 of rest where we can get back to ourselves and we can get back to thinking about what is important, treating other people, putting God above all else, and realizing who the heck we are. Okay. That's who we're servicing. We're servicing God. We're servicing ourselves. We're servicing our fellow man. What are you doing to service? If you're not doing some service, go out and do some service. If you're a landlord, your service is simple. Simple. You renegotiate with your power brokers at the bank. You get the tax breaks, and you don't use it as a source of income. It's not a source of income. Okay? Yes, you have to make something small, some small pittance for your work involved in that. But not a lot. Okay? It's not something that you can support a $100,000 lifestyle a year. It shouldn't be. You just don't have the ability to do that much work on that many properties in that many ways. You can make jobs for maintenance people. You can make jobs for electricians. You can make jobs for plumbers. And that's all well and good. But the actual physical real estate, it's not a business. It's a place. And places aren't businesses. Okay? If you go to McDonald's, you take out all the equipment, and it's just a building. That's all it is. It has no value without a business being inside of it. Okay? And putting your family inside of a house or a multifamily residential place does not provide value to you. It's a place for you to be safe and sleep. And you were born that way. And it's not a lot to ask. And I'm not suggesting some type of communism or socialism or anything like that. It's out of the question. What I'm suggesting is that you realize that mortgages. So what I'm suggesting is that mortgaging and landlording is not a business. Okay? It's not a business. It was invented. It was invented and created by people that wanted to take advantage of others. Okay? That's it. It was people who wanted to lord over and have authority of others and make them do things that they normally wouldn't have to do, and didn't need to do, and shouldn't have to do. Look at the English system. Okay? The English system has brought it over here. The bankers have exploited it and taken it to a whole new level of serfdom. Serfdom. We're all serfs and slaves of the master. And you should aspire to be a lord? Come on, man. That's garbage. Okay? And the same you who are landlords. I mean, go and then. I mean, I see guys out there. They put up, here's my church online, and I go to church, and it's a 200-year-old church. You're a fraud, dude. Did you not learn anything in that church? Did you not understand what Jesus was saying? Do you not understand what the Old Testament is saying? Do you not understand what Passover is about? Do you not understand what Easter is about? It's not about going to church and paying some guy to tell you something to make you feel better for an hour and say, well, I went to church. It's not what it's about. Okay? If you don't learn anything, there's no point. If you don't change your faith, there's no point. And the Chinese have given us so much, and I'm just so grateful to them, really, for this time that we're having. And they've given us a bunch of great products that have really changed our lives, some in a positive way, some in a negative way, but they've made us realize. And now with this virus that they've given us, they've really given us a chance to look at ourselves and what we become, who we are, and are we proud of that? I mean, if you're a real estate guy and you take advantage and you can't wait till the market crashes so you can take advantage and buy low and then raise the rents on people and take advantage of that, go out and make them your serfs where they got to go out and they got to work 40 hours a week, some of them up to 80 hours a week at jobs that they hate so they can pay you just to live in your crappy little place that you got a bank loan for, where the banks make, double the amount that they lend on every loan that they give. And they get that money from the governments that's printed. It doesn't make fucking sense to me that you learned anything that church was trying to teach you, or that the synagogue or the old books that the Talmud was giving you. Have you learned anything? If you're living it, yes. But most just don't get it. It's about helping fellow man. You should be trying to provide jobs for others right now. Okay? Providing ways for people to live differently. Okay? We need to get rid of this system of serfdom, of rich groups of Grant Cardones who get all these investors to invest. What you're investing when you invest in a multifamily residential property is you're investing in poor people that they're going to continue to work. And right now, they're not working, so your investment isn't paying off. They're not paying their rents because you're investing in poor people to go out and work crappy jobs, and you're investing in their lives. Those are people's lives that you're destroying, that you're forcing to go out and do that. You justify it and say, well, we're providing them a place to live that they wouldn't have had before. You didn't create any land, landlord. You didn't create any land. Yeah, there's a manager that makes sure that the pipes don't leak and things get fixed, and it does cost money to do repairs and do maintenance. Yes. But it's not a business. Owning real estate is not a business. Renting real estate is not a business. Okay? If it's a vacation rental, it's not a necessity, and you can make a business out of it. If it's commercial, I get it. But where people live, and it's become 70 to 80%, the working poor, 70 to 80% of what they make after they pay taxes to the government then goes to you. So that you can pay the banks back the money that they're getting at 10 to 1. So for every $1 they have in the bank, they get to loan 10 from the government, and then they receive 100% of that money back. Do the math. It's simple math. We're all getting screwed. And now you have time to realize that, because you're not forced into your slavery. You're not forced into slavery that you got to pay your credit card payments on time. You got to pay your rent on time. So you don't have time to think about it. They put you into that up until now. The Chinese have freed us from that thinking. And it's about damn time. And it's very, if you noticed, I'm a Republican. I love Trump. He's great. And you noticed he was talking about freeing us from this for Easter. He had a big focal point on Easter, and you should too. It's a very important time for both Jewish, both Christians, which make up the majority of the United States. And I know this is globus. We're talking about the whole world here. But either way, it's all the same thing. We all got one God. We got one life. And we're supposed to make the best of it. And you make the best of it by not being a douche to other people, by not complaining, by being joyful, by being thankful, by living in gratitude. And you'll get everything that you need to get. Okay? But seizing every opportunity that comes your way and believing that real estate is a business. It's not a business. It's not. Okay? Around this Easter time, this Passover time, and this Good Friday we just had, it's time to think about all this stuff and resurrect ourselves into what we can be. And we can be decent human beings. And it's not all about how much money we can gain and how many people we can lord over. It's absolutely not. It's not about that. So this is Adam Wins. This is the winningest show. And at this point, I believe being the winningest is really about knowing who you are and what you want. Okay? And I hope, and I pray for you that who you are is someone who lives in the service of others. Meaning, you live your day to make others better and improve their lives. Because that's what it's all about. That's where this whole thing comes in. And you're not living your life to victimize people. You're not hunting people for a living. You're not trying to shit on people all the time for a living. You're not trying to take advantage of people all for a living. Okay? And if you are, you need to stop it. You need to stop it. It's not what this is all about. It's not what this world is all about. And it's coming to a stop for a reason. Okay? All of this shit happens for a reason. Okay? It's historical. Okay? We're in very historic times, and it happened around this time in America for a reason, around Easter and Passover for a reason. Okay? Think about it. And you got to change. You got to change. And you got to realize who you are. And you got to be the person that you were meant to be. And that person is abundant. And that person has more than enough. And that person doesn't need to take advantage or victimize other people. You live with integrity and value. And you create value for others. And that's how you make it in this world. Okay? Can you get rich taking advantage of others? Oh, yes, you can get wildly rich. But you can't get wealthy. And doing that, is it going to affect your health? Oh, yeah, it's going to affect your health. Because every time you victimize somebody, every time you enslave somebody, every time you put them into serfdom so that they can pay for your single family house, that's notching down on your health. That's another one off of your health. That's another one taking you down. Every time you suppress somebody, every time you point one finger, you got three pointed back at you. And every time you do that to somebody, pow, 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 you're shooting yourself 3 times. So you got to realize that that is not the way moving forward. That is not the way post-COVID life can be. And it's I mean, if you're the Lord, it's your choice, you know. If you want that title, you're a douchebag, take it. I mean, just change your name to Land Douchebag. Why even take the Lord? Are you really a Lord? You're a land douchebag. Cardone. You're all land douchebags. And it's come a time where, you know, everybody's talking about this has took away our freedoms. This has taken away our freedom. Okay? Right after this Easter time, we're going to go into July 4th when we're going to all get our freedoms back. Right? We're going to get our freedoms back. We're allowed to go back outside. But what are we going to get back? What is that freedom? Are we really free? If we're serfdoms to the landlord, if we're serfdoms to the bank, and still servicing a broken system? Nah. You were born healthy. You were born wealthy. Realize it. Realize who you are. Okay? This hospital business, same with you. Forcing people to do what you say, forcing people that their children have to do what you say. You guys were quacks. Not even 100 years ago, you were quacks. It's a made-up profession. Okay? Yeah, there's some science behind it. Some science behind it. But you can't force people to take your pills. You can't force people to take your medicine. You can't force people to take your vaccines. Okay? That's not freedom. That's slavery. And this is what the Israelites were escaping during Passover. They sent the plagues. Save the firstborns, Passover. I hope we all pass over this one, and at least those who pass over, you have an awakening and you realize what the frick is important. And what's important is who you are and what you want. And what I mean by that is who you really are and what you really want. What you want out of life with your family, what you want for others, and what you want for yourself. And if you want to be a dickhead that lords over everybody else and you got 20 Ferraris and 2 private jets and all this shit so you can think that you're better than everybody else, screw you. You ain't it, okay? Elon Musk provides services every day. He busts his ass. He's a businessman that provides service to others, okay? He doesn't go buy a property and say, I own that property now. I'm just going to keep raising the rent. If you want to live in that property, you're going to keep paying me the rent. And if you got to work 20 hours more a week to pay to live in that property, then dad, damn it, you're going to do that. No. He creates services to make people's lives simpler. Okay, he's trying to expand this world, send people to the moon, allow them to live in Mars, make cars that can drive themselves, do things to make your life easier and simpler. And yet, you got the bankers and the lords of the land. They want to make your lives harder. They want to make your lives more difficult. They want to enslave you. And we've all realized that that's not necessary. It's not necessary. Okay? Y'all live where you live. You didn't have to pay rent. What would you be doing right now? Well, you're at home. And most of us are doing what we want to be doing. Maybe we're painting. Maybe we're doing yoga. We're learning things that we haven't been able to find out about because we haven't had the time, because we've been in serfdom, slaving for the lords of the land. Screw them. Screw you, landlords. You're pieces of shit. I told you wouldn't like my language and you wouldn't like the way I'm dealing with this. But I've got no respect for you. I've never had any respect for real estate guys. Could I have been filthy, filthy, filthy rich in real estate? Have I had the opportunities? Absolutely. Do I decline them all the time? Absolutely. Do they still come to me and ask me, oh, I just need some investors from overseas, or I need some investors for this multifamily deal? You suck. Should all be a co-op. All right? And really, a real church, like the Globus Church of Wealth and Wellness, should become the largest landlord in the world, where everybody is part of a church. So there's no property taxes because you can't tax churches. And everybody is part of the same movement to allow people to be themselves and find out who you are. You know, it's a very wealthy thing to be able to find out exactly who you are and exactly what you want, because 99% of the people don't ever get that chance. You don't get that chance because you're in serfdom or slavery. And I'm not saying you don't need to work. We need to work. We need to create. We need to provide services for others. We need to drive them places. We need to get them food, medicine, whatever it is they need. But the way that the constructs of the system has been victimizing your happiness, and that's what being the winningest is all about. It's about happiness. And the way that the system has been victimizing your happiness and forcing you into to do things that you don't want to do, that are not you. How could you ever know who you are if you're forced to go to a job that you hate? Is that you? Who are you? You don't even know because you haven't been given a chance, which now, thanks to China, you're given the chance to find out exactly who you are and exactly what you want out of this world. Okay? It's a short existence. It's a very short existence. And you want to end up by, you know, owning all the pieces on the Monopoly board, making everybody else your bitch? Is that your claim to fame? Is that your legacy? Is that how you think God intended it? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Can you do that? Yes, we all can do that. Not all of us, but many of us. We all have the chance to own every piece of the Monopoly board. I always win in Monopoly. Just like when I want to, I always win in poker. That's the Puerto Rican tournament, guys. All right, so it's it's all about math. It's all about science. It's all about happiness. Because the winningest show could also be called the happiest show. And having your wealth and wellness is key. So I hope that right now you're understanding that the Chinese brought us a great gift of who's dying or who has the greatest chance of dying is those people who have diabetes, those people who have underlying health conditions, those people who have lived a shitty, miserable fucking existence and overeaten, underexercised, and basically drank and ate and were gluttons. Okay? If you're fat as fuck, you're a glutton. Okay? Fuck you. You have a thyroid condition. You're fucking fat because you're a piece of shit and you eat too much. You eat more than others. That's how you got big and fat. Okay? Now, if your chance of dying is more, wake up. Wake up. Okay? Wake up. If you're unhealthy, wake up. You don't have to be. You're unhealthy by a choice. These are choices you made to sacrifice your health to do things not as they were intended. Okay? You get the choice every day when you wake up. You can do exercise, you can do things for you, or you can do things that are against you and that aren't going to make you better. But right now, you're not even forced to go to work, most of us. So you got the choice to do all those things. Find out who you are. Find your hidden talents. Find out what you really wanted. Create that app you wanted to create. Create that business you wanted to create. Paint that picture you wanted to paint. Create that song you wanted to sing. You got that choice right now. And the world is sending you a huge message right now if you're worried in fear, if you're unhealthy, if you got diabetes, if you got underlying health conditions, if you got heart problems, solve that. Okay? Those things are all symptoms of an underlying unhealthy, just a shitty life you're living, man. So stop doing it. Get in touch with who you are. Get in touch with what you want. We all want wealth. We all want wellness. Okay? And wealth is not about being the richest guy in the room and owning the most properties and having 3 heart transplants and, all sorts of shit like that. It's about treating other people and having their respect because you're providing a value and a service and they're grateful for you every single day. You have the opportunity now to be a blessing to others. If you're in real estate, you can change your ways. You can fix your bottom line. I mean, really, your renters are just in they're just a line item in a spreadsheet. Okay? The same with the banks. They're just the line item in a spreadsheet. You've got a real opportunity here because times are changing and they're changing fast and technology is moving at a rapid speed. And people are realizing that, you know, is the government saving you right now? They're not. Okay? They're not saving you. Who is saving you? You're saving yourself. If you're at high risk for getting a deathly disease, it's because you did that. The government didn't do it to you. Okay? They can't save you from it. So now is the time when you should be exercising more, choosing what you eat and the way you eat. Okay? Choosing health and then choosing wealth. And it's about knowing who you are and what you want and living in the proper way. So, in a closing statement, I want you to understand that you have a great opportunity here. You've been given the power, and you have the only thing that we know is certain. And the only thing that is certain is change. And you have the ability to change right here, right now. Find out who you are. You've got the time on your hands. You got the time on your hands to figure out what you want. Get that and do that, because I know it is not, you know, making other people your slaves or making other people your bitch. And if it is, you got problems. And, you know, you're the type that the COVID should get. You're that type they should get. And, you know, for the rest of us, you have the opportunity and take it. So this is Adam Wins. This is the winningest. I hope you really take this and investigate that words have meaning, that you have meaning. And this was some intelligent information for your wealth and wellness. And I hope it helps you out. Make that change and make the difference, because you definitely can. And yeah, I know it seems hard and daunting, and it seems, you know, it seems like don't know how we're going to do it, don't know how we're going to make it, don't know what we're going to do. And I even realize you landlords are afraid. It's okay. You've been taught with bad data by bad teachers. And you're probably not really bad people. You've just been poorly educated by a system that's broken. And you've got the chance to be part of the solution, not part of the problem anymore. Okay? 2008, you came back from it, and you were just, there was a huge problem. And then you just said, well, some of the people lost in the problem, and we're going to be the ones that win on the problem. We're going to do the same thing all over again. Okay? We can't repeat 2008 here. Okay? Because this is a much different crisis. It's a much bigger crisis. It's a global crisis. Okay? Our oceans are sick. Our people are sick. Our systems are broken. And it's up to thought leaders like you and like me to fix those. Okay? It's up to us, nobody else. So now's the time to take advantage of the only thing you can take advantage of, and that's time. You've got the time now. Take advantage of that time and find a better way. Find a new path. Find a new business, a new way to make a living, a new way to live and move forward. You've got the time. It's a blessing. Seize it, use it, and you're going to move forward into the future in great abundance. You're going to move forward into the future, and money's just going to flow to you like a magnet. Whatever you want is just going to flow to you like a magnet once you figure out who you are and what you want. Okay? And if you see other people falling, pick them up. Don't take advantage of them. Don't take advantage of them. If they're in a bad spot, help them out of that bad spot. Don't take advantage of them. Say, I got this cheap place you can live in. And then as you see them get it better, we're going to raise the rent. We're going to do this. Come on, guys. Lift everybody up. This is Adam Wins. This is the winningest. Have a good one. Ciao.